All right, family. Well, if you're in the chat, I put a link to my YouTube channel so I can share this live. You can record it. I know Cliff's on the other side, so he can listen in that way. But tonight we are going to talk about family.
About what?
Family, because Ohana means what? And family means. There we go. Someone's seen the movie. A couple people. And so, as we're jumping into that, I'm gonna do Bible talk a little differently tonight. It's kind of be more like a lesson, but we are gonna have some icebreaker questions to get everything going. Since this is our first time together, and so, what is your name, and what is one thing you love about your family? I will leave that however you want to interpret it. If your family is the people you live with, so be it. If it's your blood, so be it. If it's the church, so be it. One thing you love about your family. Dodo has his hand up, it looks like. Or is he just eating? I don't know.
Oh, do you want an answer? What do you love about your family?
He loves his parents. Yeah. Hey, no one loves their family, huh? No.
My name is Jenny, and I love our traditions.
Ooh, family tradition. Okay, like what? Like, give us one.
I think the main one is food.
Yes. I like your family traditions too. Those are delicious. Yes. All right. Who'd like to go next? One family. Here. We'll go one and then two.
I would go with like my parents, like when I used to be with them and stuff like that. Just like that, kind of like almost every month, like Sunday or the weekend, we just have people. I'm just like a people's person. So we just have a lot of people over and, like big tables and then just
So this makes you feel right at home.
awesome.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Okay, I say my name is Grace, and one of the unforgettable times I had it from my parents was they teach me to respect and help everybody.
Okay. We like that. Respect and help. Like,
Stretch your hand to anyone.
yes. Open hands make open plans. 1, 2.
One thing I love about my family is we're really unique. There's not two of us who are the same. We don't even look the same.
One of a kind. One of a kind. All right.
What I like about my family, well, my name is Maria.
Hello,
What I like
Maria.
about my family, something that I really like is like everybody has the, how you say, um, ¿cómo se dice? Una disposición. Disposition. Yeah.
Your disposition.
Yeah. Like today, I was cooking. I said, I don't want to cook. I'm going to do hot dogs and hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, I don't feel like cooking. And then I said, oh my God, I'm going to preach it. We don't have so much food. I need to make food. I need to do this. I need to do that. In less than 20 minutes, hey, I'm cooking tacos, fried tacos with chicken and potatoes, rice and beans, whoever wants to come. I'm on my way. Everybody ate in my house.
Everybody shows up.
And I call everybody and 20 and everybody's like, I'm on my way. I like that because I always tell them like a day say food, we got that tradition to pick a Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
But for them, we need to always be around.
Yeah.
Come and get together,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's birthday or Sunday or Monday or today Friday, nothing. I'm on my way. I'm playing video games, but I'm on my way. And they go because believe me, they play video games.
I'm aware. I am aware.
So I like that about my family.
That's cool. All right. Beautiful lady in the back.
Okay, so my name is Liz. What I loved about my family growing up was that it was just me, my dad, and my brother. And my dad was still have twins, but he always he would like leave work early to come pick us up, and then we would like ride our bikes. He would always keep us outside. And so we lived in Hawaii, so that was nice, you know what I mean? So we were always going to the beach or
Paradise.
how to play tennis or golf. Like we were always doing something. And so yeah, that's what.
There you go. And so, anyone else before we move forward? In the back.
Corey.
Hi, Corey.
My favorite thing about my family, and it applies to both, they're always there for you. Because like my dad was definitely a sacrifice. Like you always make sure that we didn't have without. And even in the kingdom, like your family, make sure that sometimes being there for you means that you're, calling you out when you need called out. Seeing something that you didn't see. And so just thankful that I come from both families of an idea that servitude and sacrifice make a good family.
Definitely. Well, guys, thank you all for participating. My name is Nick, for those of you who don't know. Hi. And for me, what I love about my family is we roll deep. So if someone's like, hey, we need to hide a body, everyone's like, okay, where, when, and how are we making this happen? And it's a running joke. We had a joke when my cousin first got his license. He's like, his car was old, it had manual locks, and so we're like, no bank heist, not yet, because someone would lock their door and not be able to get in the car, and they'd get caught. And so yeah. But that being said, I have 5 scriptures we're going to look at tonight, and each of them has a point. And I'll go through them rather quickly, but it's because all of them comes to family. So the first point I have for you is one Lord, one faith, one family. And that is in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 4 to 6. We'll turn there real fast. And I want this to be the heart that we share for one another. How we build each other up and how we think lovingly of our families, how we can make our families better. And so in verse 4 it says, there's one body, one spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all, through all, and in all. And so we know there's a saying that blood is thicker than water, right? Well, I would like to venture and say that Jesus' blood is thicker than anyone else's blood. And that's what binds us all together. And so as we get to be a part of this one family, we see that the world is trying to tear families apart. Working in the school district, I see a lot of single family households. There's one particular case where there's a mom. She has her own 4 kids. Her brother's in jail, so she also has his 5 kids. And she's trying her best. But there's no family to take care of them. The kids have to take care of themselves. And so as we become one, we got to realize, hey, God doesn't want to destroy the family, but bring it together. Our second point is a heavenly focus. Because when we think about family, a lot of times we think about the fun times, but we don't think about where we're going as a family. And so if we go to Colossians chapter 3 and verse 2, let me get a thumbs up when you guys are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good half of people. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 2 says, set your minds on things above, not earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you will also appear with him in glory. And we can get caught up with all the things here on earth. Like, I like nice things. I used to want a 16-car garage. I wanted a mansion and a private island and all these things. And I was like, I want all this so I can bring my family to this island so that when World War III happens, we'll be safe. Like, that was my thought process. And then I was like, well, if I get them on this private island, they decide to nuke my island. I made it easy for them to wipe out my bloodline. Okay, maybe that's not the best idea. But when we have a heavenly focus and we see, hey, Jesus died so we can be with him and be with God, so we can all be together and we can all be in heaven together and bring as many people as possible. Because then you get out there, there's no more tears, there's no more crying, there's no more sadness, there's no more darkness. I've been reading Revelation, so it's like literally God is the light and God doesn't turn off. So You don't have to worry about the dark, so you can be up all the time. You're getting a new body, and I'm hoping to be at least 6 feet when I get to heaven. With some cherubim wings, because they have 8 of them. So it's like all these different things that I imagine when I get there. But I got to ask you, are you envisioning yourself in heaven? And are you wanting to bring others with you? Number 3 is accountability for one another. And as an athlete, I get real accustomed to accountability, but I still hate it. Did you? Why didn't you? Hey, you messed up here. But here's what accountability gives us. It's in Proverbs chapter 27. Proverbs 27. Psalms, Proverbs. Proverbs 27, the book of wisdom. Job, Psalms, Proverbs, all books of wisdom. But in Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 5, it says, better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. And I'm sure you've had some conversations with your family members where it wasn't very comfortable. You're like, I got to tell you the truth. It's because I love you. And then they're like, you don't love me. If you did, you would encourage me in what I'm doing. And when we think about that thought process, we just want to be encouraged in what's comfortable to us. But can you grow if you're comfortable? And so as we're holding one another accountable so that we can get closer to God, so we can be better, so we can shine brighter. Because shining is not easy. What happens if you let the candle burn out? Can you light it again? But what happens if you add another wick and some more wax? You can relight it. It's maintenance. It's something that takes effort. And so as we hold each other accountable, that means we're looking out for each other. That means, hey, if I got a booger in my nose, I would hope one of you tells me I have a booger in my nose. If my breath smells bad, please tell me my breath smells bad. I'd rather not walk around with morning breath than being a fire-breathing dragon. I'd rather not. I'd rather you just be like, hey, you might want a mint, or hey, go get some mouthwash, or hey, go brush your teeth. Right? Because sometimes people be like, oh, his breath stank. Should I tell him? Does that mean? No, if you love me, you're not going to make other people suffer. You love other people, you're not going to make them suffer. And I use that example because I was there at one point because I didn't go to the dentist for like 10 years. And so I had some rotting stuff going in my mouth, and no matter what I did, till I went to the dentist, that's when they got it fixed. Painful. But number 4 is need one another, because we're all in this together. For those who like High School Musical, in Galatians chapter 6, Galatians with a G, Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2. Let's see. So I got people flipping. I'll pause for a second. The garlic bread is tempting me, but I will wait till after I'm off camera. So I need to have all the crumbs on my face. So, all right. So in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2, it says, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Now, we all have our responsibilities. You are responsible for your responsibilities. Now, a burden is separate from your responsibilities. A burden is something that comes up unexpectedly that you did not prepare for. Like, say, a child getting sick. You're responsible for taking care of the child, but the child getting sick, that was an unexpected burden. You're feeding them, you're cleaning them, you're burping them, and then they decide to have a blowout. It's like, I wasn't ready. And they did it in the car, so now the car smells kind of funky. Right? And we got to help each other in those situations. Because what does a lot of people do when they get hard times? The unexpected times. They panic. Another example of a burden would be a car accident. You total your car, and you're like, how am I going to get to work tomorrow? Well, it's like, hey, I'm here to help. What time do you go to work? At 7? Cool. I go on at 7 too. I'll pick you up, drop you off at 6:30. I can make it on time. Oh, I work at 8. I'm dropping you off at 6:30 so I can make it to work on time. We can figure out your car another time, but I can get you to work. I may even be able to pick you up. But if I'm going to help you, it's got to be on my terms because I'm extending my arm and I'm sharing in the burden. And so as we help each other out, as we look to take care of each other, it's not an obligation, but it's an encouragement. Because sometimes we want to help, but if we help, it becomes a detriment to ourselves. I don't know if you've ever given someone money and then you were short on something that you need to pay for. Guilty of that. It's like they need it more than me, and then it's like, oh wait, I got this bill to pay. I thought all my bills are paid. I didn't realize what day it was. Let me call up this company and see if they'll give me an extension. But you don't want to do that to yourself. You want to do everything in a responsible manner so that both of you can be taken care of. Because we do need one another. And the last one is affirming one another. We want to encourage one another. We want to affirm who God has created us to be. And with that, we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 5. And this is our last scripture. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 19. And for those of you who can't sing, it's okay. Jenny, what are you talking about? We can sing. We've heard you. Ephesians 5:19, it says, speak to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs of the Spirit. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And so I come from a very sarcastic and witty family. If we're nice to you, it's probably because we don't want you to come back to the house. That's kind of how we grew up. If you can't take a joke, we don't want you around. So when I first read this scripture, I was convicted. I had to learn to speak differently. I was like, I need to be nice. I need to be encouraging, affirming. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you see someone do something, and my first instinct is to go, are you stupid? Because your actions are telling me you're stupid. And depending on who I'm talking to, that's going to hurt them. It's like, instead of the other question would be, hey, are you okay? Explain to me how you got to that thought process. Why did we even go there? Because we want to build them up and not tear them down. And so it says, speak to one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. But how can you speak to them if you don't know them? And so you really want to get into the scriptures and look at them. And Psalms is really encouraging. There's 150 poems and songs mixed in all together to help you to see your heart, but also to help you to identify other people's hearts. And as you're speaking to one another, you build each other up. And we talked about, hey, wounds from a friend can be trusted. Hey, I'd rather you tell me the truth so that I can grow instead of lying to me, and then we're both going to be stuck. And so as we look at this, if you take the first letter from all 5 of these points, it spells Ohana. Because Ohana is family. Family means no one's left behind or forgotten. That is the discussion for tonight, guys. Thank you for participating in the lesson. I want to open it up for any thoughts, comments, bitterness, frustrations, or arguments. They are all welcome at this time. In the back.
So I love that we love to our friends. No, I think definitely just like, that saying, nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And I think too, just the fact that family is different than friendship.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, there's like not a fine line, but it's like a bold line.
Yeah.
Between friendship and family, and I can say I've built family with Anaya, and actually I kind of started uni. Let's just say half the people in this room. There's probably the other half that I'm not too close to that I'm starting to build family.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a difference, and it's just a great feeling when you get get to build, the sense of family.
Mhm.
Because I think with family you can be real. With
Yeah.
family, and like you can be raw and open without like the fear of judgment. But then also like you said, with the trust that they're there to help you. They're not there to judge you. They're not there to look down on you.
Mhm.
They're there to tell you like, hey, I've been there before, and if I haven't been there before, I'm there to hear you out.
Yeah.
To understand, like you said, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Because sometimes like people know they've been through the same thing as you, and sometimes they haven't, but that doesn't mean they can't try to relate to you.
True.
So thank you so much for that lesson. I think it's incredible that, at the end of the day, like everything good in life takes work, but it's definitely worth it.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to add on that friend point. There's a lot of people who, like, you'll meet them and they'll be like, oh, we're friends, when really they haven't even got out the acquaintance phase. And then you get the friends and then you get the family. And you'll do a lot for a friend, but you won't do as much for a friend as you will for your family. And so I hope that none of you see me as a friend, but that we are family. Amen. All right. Who else had their hand up? Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how you talked about like wounds from a friend can be trusted. Because I think it's really hard to be honest in this like time frame. I feel like it's like really hard to tell people what you're really thinking. But honestly, like I think it's more of a selfishness than anything else. You know what I mean? It's just that you want to spare somebody's feelings or like you know what I mean. But it's not that you're sparing their feelings; you're sparing your own.
Mhm.
Like you just don't want to be awkward or uncomfortable. But if you really love somebody, you're gonna tell the truth. So, in loving way.
Yes, definitely in a loving way. Anyone else? Going once.
Hey,
Go Corey and Maria.
thank you for the lesson, Rose. Convicting. I love the first point. One God, one family, and one body, and how you don't really see that nowadays, especially when you go to church, like football church.
Mhm.
It's like you don't feel at home.
Yeah.
You see them once a week, and you come back the following week. But here, it's literally we see each other every day, and we have we're stuck together. And so it's awesome to see that, even though like they were saying like, hey, you don't always have a strong friendship with the people that we have or together, especially in Bible talk,
Mhm.
but it's an opportunity to keep growing and keep getting to know people more and more. I like how what Liz says about how like who's your friend can be trusted.
Mhm.
And so trust really begins by communication and the selfishness that we have that we don't want to get to know anybody. And that's not what family is. Family wants to get to know everybody so we can build stronger friendships, build stronger relationships. So that way we can really be vulnerable to each other. So thank you.
I really appreciate that scripture because all of them that you read because it's like that made me think about it with my kids. I got 7 kids and everybody has a different point to see things, whatever is going on between us, and it's hard sometimes because for me. When they are together, I see how they interact, I see how they communicate sometimes, and I see how some of them blow out of proportions because the attitude that they have, that they don't know better. Maybe it's because that's the way that I teach them how to be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I used to be maybe the same as one of them right now. I changed with the time. I learned, I act different, I thrive.
Mhm.
But it's so hard when you wanna no repenting, how you say, not to be the parent, but to be their friend.
Yeah.
Make
Okay.
them understand.
Yeah.
You understand
Mhm.
their point of view.
Yeah.
But I feel like with them, it's like some of them is like, if you know with me, you against me. And it's like I told him, I love you. I'm your mom. I always gonna love you. but doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that I had to agree with everything. And I think that's with a family, this is one of the hardest things that you need to do when you're a family member. Doesn't matter if you're your brother, your sister, your husband, that's one of the things that people don't understand, that if I don't agree with you, this doesn't mean that I not love you.
Yeah.
That means that I know you maybe better than you know yourself, because I raised you. And that's like, I really, for me, it's really, because I got some of my kids that they're the sweetest, serious. I can tell you that I just want to say I got 8 kids, and 4 of my kids, they never, ever in my life, and they're 20 something, okay, 26, 7, 9, and 32. I never had to worry about them one day. Never in my life. Never. Like worry about, where they are, what kind of friends they have, what time they're gonna get home. Are they driving? Are they drunk? Ever. Never. But with another, my goodness. You walking in the angels, because you never know why their reactions will be, And I just got to the point that I said, you know what? I love you. I really care about you. But if you think that's good for you, you want to be away, or you want to breathe this way, or you want to, you're not doing it. Then you're responsible for yourself. And you need to understand, we as a family, we love you, and we're always going to be here. But doesn't mean that I have to agree with you 24/7 in everything. It's hard. It's really, really, really hard. Like I told one of my kids one time, anybody has the right to say no to whatever you want to know. I don't want to give a ride. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to go. I don't want to dress like that. Whatever you want to say, no. Everybody has the right to say no. But people so used to like get my way. Or the hungry,
Yeah. They want Burger King.
There's no God.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. We will be back here next Friday, 7 p.m. Let's try to be here at 7 so we can eat at 7:30. I appreciate you all. Sunday service back at Encounter, 5 p.m. And then if you haven't got a Bible study, get into it. And if you got them, keep going. All right. Love you all. Have an awesome night.